Today, I want to talk about the future of old Call of Duty games. With Microsoft getting closer and closer to fully buying and owning all of Call of Duty, as well as fixing the old Call of Duty games matchmaking. Right now, everything is fine and dandy, but what does this mean for the future of these old Call of Duty games? Are the old Call of Duty games going to end up on Xbox Game Pass? Is there a possibility of there being a Call of Duty collection, much like Halo MCC? Or could all of this come crashing down because there's actually still a lot of underlying issues with certain games?
I'm going to go with the veteran from the US, Merc.
All right, welcome back.
What's up, guys? This is Merc Music, and we're gonna be doing some more Black Ops 1 on the Xbox 360 today, and I'm actually gonna prove a point right here. I have been trying so hard to find at least one wager match on Black Ops 1, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to delete DLC in order to find a match. It's just one of those weird quirks about the old COD games. If I ever need to reinstall the DLC, I obviously can. Oh, maybe it's in the storage settings. I truly do want to get to the bottom of this because some of you guys might be having matchmaking issues too. There we go, now we can delete it. Okay, I think we actually deleted all the DLC. Let's see if that can possibly speed up the matchmaking for not just wager matches, but also TDM and other things like that. You know, come to think of it, I might have had the DLC for being able to play the DLC zombies maps, not so much the multiplayer stuff. But unfortunately, that's just how it goes for some of these old COD games. You don't really get a choice as to whether or not you get to keep the DLC or not. I mean, Modern Warfare 3, the original one, kind of is the exception, because on the original Modern Warfare 3, you can keep all of your DLC installed, but you can disable DLC matchmaking with the click of a button, which was just amazing. But anyway, we're back. We don't have any DLC. Let's see if we can find a gun game match. Wait, there's more matches. There's actually more potential matches, dude. Come on. What? No! This is just gonna further prove my points, and that's not necessarily what I wanted, but we got another one. There's just one person in here. 92% of the GDP of the United States has been spent for the COD points in game. What? I love all of these random stats at the bottom, but I don't even know if that one's true. Like, how do we actually prove or verify that, man? It's crazy. Wait, can we find hardcore TDM? 7 matches. Please actually put me in one. You see, this is exactly why I'm making this video. Which, by the way, if you guys do enjoy this video and you want to see some more throwback Call of Duty stuff, make sure to drop a like. We just got a random hardcore TDM on grid. Nice. We're gonna play this while answering some of the original questions that I asked at the start of the video. Are the old Call of Duty games going to end up on Game Pass? Most likely, yes, but it could take a while. We got a teammate camp. Oh my god. I just spawned. We have a 10-second wait. Oh, no. I forgot it used to be like this. Yo, there's 25 people in the DLC playlist. This just goes to show how pointless the DLC is. When it comes to the possibility of these old Call of Duty games being put on the Xbox Game Pass, we do need to keep in mind that the deal has still not been fully approved yet. Currently, Microsoft is still negotiating with the UK CMA, and until those negotiations are figured out, they can't really do anything yet. Now, if you want my take on all of this stuff, I really do think that the deal will go through. I think they're going to negotiate, they're going to figure something out, and then the deal will be approved, and it's going to happen. Okay, we lost connection to host. Nice. Okay, game lobby closed. Perfect. Let's just do a regular TDM. But yeah, even once this deal gets approved, Sony still has an exclusivity deal with Call of Duty that will last until 2024. Now, there is a chance that this will only affect the newer Call of Duty games that are coming out, since this acquisition might not really have anything to do with the old Call of Duty games. Hypothetically, if that ends up being the case, then technically the old Call of Duty games could be added to Game Pass before 2024, and possibly even immediately once this deal closes and goes through. But if that assumption is wrong, then it could be quite a while until the old Call of Duty games are added to Xbox Game Pass. So until then, if you're wanting to play the older Call of Duty games on the Xbox 360, I would recommend checking out the sales that they've been having for the games digitally. I think they've been like roughly 50 to 67% off, something like that. It depends on the game. We just had another TDM game crash. Wait. It's working? I have no idea if this is gonna work today or not. This is so weird, man. But yeah, if you don't want to buy these games digitally, you can find physical copies of them online for pretty cheap. They're not usually that bad. I think not that long ago, I rebought the original Modern Warfare 2 for like $5 or $6. Now, it definitely wasn't a brand new copy, but it works totally fine. And you really can't beat that price, man. $6 for Modern Warfare 2. You could buy multiple copies of the original Modern Warfare 2 for less than a typical bundle in the new game, in the new Modern Warfare 2. On top of that as well, if you want to buy these old games for the Xbox 360, typically it will be cheaper than buying it on Steam on PC. Now, granted, it's going to be a completely different experience, but, you know, just figured I'd mention it. What? No way. 3 shots? 3 L96 shots. Dude ain't cheating, but he's definitely eating up all the bullets. I'm getting killed by a level 2 with a FAMAS. Nice. I'm going 3 to 7. Sniping. Beautiful. But that's all I gotta say about the first question, so let's answer the second one. Is there a possibility that Microsoft will want to make a Call of Duty collection type of game similar to Halo MCC? Probably not, but I do love the idea. A Call of Duty collection type of game with crossplay enabled could be massive. This could easily be one of the best ways to revive the old Call of Duty games and make them more accessible for everyone. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's unlikely. Just to put things into perspective, there are over 20 mainline Call of Duty games. That's potentially 20 different Call of Duty games that they would have to remaster, give upgraded visuals for, enable crossplay, make sure that the servers are stable and working, which as we can see have definitely not been perfect today. Oh my lord. Yes. Yes! But yeah, man, it would take so long for them to have to remaster all of these different Call of Duty games, even if they do it one by one. As far as it goes for a similar project to reference, I mean, Halo MCC is the perfect example. And granted, there's not nearly as many Halo games as there are Call of Duty games, but they still had a lot of difficulties with pulling off the project. The Halo Master Chief Collection had all kinds of development issues over the years, and it took quite a while for them to get it actually fully working. And since Microsoft has been through this rodeo before, that could heavily dissuade them from wanting to attempt this again, but with a different IP. Woohoo! Headshot feed? No! I could have had such an easy clip. Collat? Why can't I hit a collat? Please! Now I want to make it abundantly clear. I have talked about the concept of a Call of Duty collection type of thing for months, if not years now. I still think it would have amazing potential and overall be the best thing for us as the consumers. But I really do feel strongly, especially now that this deal is going through, that that's probably not the direction that they're going to take the series in. Step by step, I really do think that Microsoft is going to try to make Xbox the best place to play Call of Duty going forward. And making something like a Call of Duty collection kind of benefits the other platforms as well. I'm not trying to pretend to be some kind of fancy businessman, but I do think I have an idea of how Microsoft is going to try to run things. I think instead of trying to develop a Call of Duty collection and hiring a team to do that and then having to pay them, I think it would probably make more sense for them to just release all of the old Call of Duty games on the Game Pass. Now, I'm not exactly sure what Microsoft is able or allowed to do with the Xbox Game Pass with new Call of Duty games going forward because of all the regulations and stuff, but I would imagine that they're going to try to utilize that as much as possible. Whether that means being able to play the game early, whether it's the campaign, multiplayer, zombies, Warzone, whatever. Maybe it's getting access to exclusive content, you know, DLC, possibly exclusive skins or like Xbox Game Pass exclusive skins, things like that. And like I mentioned earlier, putting the older games, the classic games on Game Pass. I'm sure they're going to do whatever they can to leverage the Call of Duty IP to get more of us to convert into Xbox Game Pass subscribers. And even more importantly for them, get people playing this game again on Xbox instead of the competing platforms. Now, I do want to make it clear, I'm not talking about the idea of them removing Call of Duty from the other platforms entirely. I'm talking about specifically trying to entice us to play on Xbox instead, with their ultimate goal trying to make Xbox the best place to play Call of Duty. And again, I want to make it clear, this is just an early prediction. We don't know this as fact. It's just my speculation, what I think they're going to do. But if you were in charge of Microsoft, I mean, this would be a no-brainer type of situation. Even just over the last couple of weeks, they've been inching closer and closer to making this deal a reality. No! The good old Black Ops 1 rage, dude. I love failing clips every day of my life. But like I was saying, in that span of time, we've already seen Microsoft fix the matchmaking for most of the old Call of Duty games on the Xbox 360. Out of the blue, for some reason, all of the old Call of Duty games on the Xbox 360 have gone on sale as well. Let's not beat around the bush. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're capitalizing on this. And if this is already how they're handling things with the old Call of Duty games on the Xbox 360, then I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a trend that's going to continue going forward. I think it's pretty safe to say that their focus going forward is going to be trying to get us to play Call of Duty on Xbox no matter what the game is, and that they want Call of Duty players to buy Xboxes and play Call of Duty on Xbox and, you know, buy the Game Pass too. I think specifically for Microsoft, that's what makes the most amount of sense, but I think most importantly, this isn't really going to cost Microsoft anything to do, other than the billions of dollars they spent to buy Activision. I mean, they're probably not going to want to spend any more money developing a Call of Duty collection type of game and potentially losing money on a project like that. For example, what if it launches and it's a complete disaster and it doesn't work? What if it's a conflict of interest because people still need to be buying and playing the new Call of Duty games instead of the old ones? One thing we should also keep in mind when it comes to this whole conversation is the fact that I hate these enemies. No, I'm kidding. Basically, every Call of Duty game to them is worth $60. If they were to make a COD collection type of game and charge $60 for it, that would heavily devalue all of the games. Now, I know a lot of us watching don't value these games the same as we used to. I know there's a ton of people that don't want to be paying $60 for an old game, but that's just not how it rolls with Call of Duty. I mean, just look at Steam. Unless there's like Steam Summer Sale going on, you still have to pay full price for the games and the DLC. That's just how it's been and how it probably always will be. It's going to be treated as a premium game that will essentially never lose its value to them, even though most of these games have all kinds of issues still, which we're going to talk about next, which does lead me to my third and final question. Could all of this fall apart since there are still underlying issues with these old Call of Duty games? Yes, this could all fall apart, and it already kind of has been. Even though going back and playing these old Call of Duty games has frankly been awesome, and reliving the nostalgia and the old memories has been so much fun, like we've seen throughout this Black Ops 1 video, there are still issues. Some of the older Call of Duty games like Call of Duty 4, World at War, and even Black Ops 1 just have these random matchmaking issues. Like, you could either be loading into a lobby or you could be in the middle of a match, and you'll just get disconnected. It'll say connection interrupted. Even though I'm super happy that these games are alive and playable again, they're definitely far from perfect. Prime example is Black Ops 2. The game has had so many infections and mod menus and stuff like that, modded lobbies. It's been a persistent issue for so many years. I specifically reached out to Call of Duty privately and I let them know about the issue and they're checking it out. But I really don't know if there's anything that they can actually do about this
skill issue.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. But most importantly, more important than any other old Call of Duty game, Black Ops 3 on the Xbox 360 doesn't even work at all.
Betrayed, forgot, abandoned.
And I do not buy into the idea that no one is playing Black Ops 3 on the Xbox 360 because I've come pretty close to actually finding games and playing them. It's just like a lot of the other old Call of Duty games. You'll start matchmaking and everything seems fine, and then out of nowhere it just stops working. Finally got that no-scope. But, you know, just as a heads up, I'm not trying to make this a competition about which old COD game is the most broken and which one needs the most attention. They all need the same amount of care and love. All of these old Call of Duty games need to be fully working and safe to play. Whether they end up on Xbox Game Pass, whether they decide to make a Call of Duty collection, or even if they don't do any of those things. I've said this so many times before, but I really do feel like they have a responsibility to make sure that these games are working and safe for us to play, no matter what the year is. Which, by the way, if you're looking to play the older Call of Duty games and you're not too sure about whether they're safe to play or if you're going to be able to find matches, I would still recommend checking out Plutonium on PC. It's the only living PC client that we currently have right now since the cease and desist shut down SM2 and also XLabs. It is probably the best alternative if you're someone who doesn't want to necessarily convert to Xbox or if you don't own it. Just figured I'd mention that in case anyone doesn't necessarily want to move to Xbox. Granted, that only really affects the old Call of Duty games, but even then, the new Call of Duty games, they're going to play and perform the best on PC without a doubt. This is definitely something that I've voiced my concerns and opinions over before in the past when it comes to the console wars. When it comes to deciding which console you're going to buy, I think ultimately most people will buy whatever console their friends or family are playing on. Because typically if you want the best performance, you're going to buy the game on PC. I've got every single platform, man. I've got PS5, Xbox Series X, PC. It doesn't really matter. I'm currently playing this on the original Xbox 360 right now. The only thing that really matters is what games you're going to be playing and who you're going to be playing with. I have almost clipped here twice now. But to wrap all this stuff up nicely, basically, I am looking forward to the future of the old Call of Duty games. For the last 2 years when this shit wasn't working on the Xbox 360, it was very sad. Not being able to play multiplayer for the classic Call of Duty games was honestly super upsetting. And while it is kind of disappointing that it took Microsoft this long to finally do something about it, and ultimately, having to buy Activision is what did it, I am at least glad that it is now mostly working, and I hope it continues to get better and improve over time. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me play some Black Ops 1, while also talking about the future of the old classic Call of Duty games. Wait, hold up. You're done. If you guys did enjoy this video and you want to see some more throwback Call of Duty stuff, make sure to drop a like. I'll see you guys later.
Outcome, train goes.